I get it. Dealing with natural cane reeds can be frustrating at times. However, if you're like me, you understand that despite the challenges they can present in terms of maintenance, the tone that you get with a great cane reed is absolutely second to none. Now, I've developed what I consider to be a pretty foolproof method to keep reeds playing at their peak for as long as possible, which I'm super excited to share with you in this video. My name is Jack Tyler, and I'm the founder of the Boston Sax Shop. So if you're watching this and you don't have any established break-in routine, reed rotation method, or good storage practices, and no, leaving them on the mouthpiece or just putting them back in the packaging they came with when you're done playing them definitely doesn't count, then this video is going to be for you. In my experience, there are two enemies of reed longevity and performance: inconsistent moisture levels and warpage. Now, both are intrinsically linked, and we're going to get to that a little later in the video. The way to keep reeds playing the longest and most consistent day to day is as simple as finding a way to balance them in terms of moisture so that they never ever get completely dry and never get waterlogged. If you let your reeds vacillate between being bone dry and soaked, it quickly breaks down the organic structure of the cane and will lead to reeds being inconsistent and dying much faster. Now, to start the moisture balancing process with the new reed, I always begin by soaking it in water, both on the front and the back for a few minutes. You want to adjust the time you soak the reed based on the level of humidity in your environment. So for instance, in the summer months when it's more humid, you might only soak them for a minute on each side, as opposed to the drier, cooler months when you might increase that soaking time to up to 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Now, it's going to take a little bit of experimenting to get the timing right, but remember that under soaking is way better than overdoing it. You're going to know when you've gone too far when the reed starts to become a little transparent at the tip, and sometimes you can even see the heart clearly visible underneath it. This is a waterlogged reed, and if this happens, there's no need to panic. Just let it dry on a flat surface for a little bit until it becomes more opaque before you start playing it. Again, don't let it dry all the way out. Now, after the initial soaking, you want to play the reed for a few minutes. Again, if it's more humid, that might only be 5 to 10 minutes, and if it's less humid, then you can probably play it for a little bit longer. What you want to do is check the reed every few minutes while you're playing to see if it's starting to waterlog. Now, ideally, you won't push it that far, but again, if you do, then it's time to put that reed away for the day and move on to the next one. Every day you should be able to add more time to each break-in session. Typically, again, climate dependent, within a week or so, the reed should be ready to be played for a few hours without waterlogging. At this point, I consider this to be a performance reed. Now, performance-ready reeds usually won't need to be played every single day in order to maintain a balanced moisture level, but of course, keep an eye on them so that they don't completely dry out. So you can start to see how reed rotation becomes super important. Ideally, you want to always be breaking in a few new reeds and at the same time have a few that are ready to go for gigs and are stable to be played for longer practice sessions. The amount of reeds that you have in rotation is going to be dependent on how much you play the horn. If you find that you are consistently waterlogging your reeds, that's probably a good indication that you need to rotate more to spread it out. If you find that your reeds are drying out completely because you don't have time to get around to playing all of them on a regular basis, it's probably time to take a few out of your rotation. Personally, I like to be breaking in 4 to 5 reeds or so and have 3 to 4 ready for gigs at any time. Now let's talk about warping. There's two kinds: tip warping and table warping. The tip of the reed warping is the one that most players are familiar with. It's when the tip of your reed starts to look like a wavy potato chip. Now, this happens when the reed dries out completely when it's not stored on a flat surface. Like you can see with this example reed, which I soaked and then left on the table on its back to dry out. When this occurs, the best way to fix it is to soak the reed in water until it flattens back out. Know that the reed life has already been shortened when the tip is warped, and the worst thing that you can do is to play it when it's like this to get it level again, as this will shorten the life even further. Since the tip of the reed is the thinnest, it's the most fragile and breaks down the fastest. Therefore, it's best to try and never let it warp by using the moisture practices we already talked about and proper storage on a flat surface like a reed case. Speaking of reed cases, shameless plug, we have one that we recommend here at the shop that we sell that has a few really important features to keep your reeds going strong. Now, besides the fact that they just look cool, and yes, of course, I'm biased, they utilize a tempered glass plate, which in my opinion is the best surface to store your reeds. It's super level and easy to clean, unlike most reed cases which are made from plastic. The top of the lid has velvet padding, which puts a little bit of downward pressure on each reed, which encourages them to dry flat and also keeps them from moving around, preventing damage. Lastly, the side vents offer the perfect amount of venting to prevent mold in an overly humid environment during storage. Okay, the advertisement is over. And by the way, on the topic of mold, if you're experiencing mold on your reeds, that's not the reed's fault. It means that the reeds are being put away too wet and the storage environment doesn't have enough venting and has become too humid for the reeds. Now back to warping. The table of the reed can warp as well. This is caused by the fact that most saxophone mouthpieces have a concavity or dip in their table, which the reed pushes against from the ligature pressure right about here. Now over time, especially with new reeds, the reed can swell where the dip is and cause a slight bump to form, which can affect its sealing. So every once in a while during a reed's life cycle, I find it helpful, especially if you know the mouthpiece has concavity, to level that table with a reed tool like the one on our Voyager multi-tool. If you have a reed that was playing great and have confirmed that it isn't waterlogged, it doesn't have a tip warp, and all of a sudden it's playing really stuffy, then it's most likely the table that needs addressing. Again, newer reeds are more prone to this as they are more absorbent and flexible. So, to recap, find a rotation number of reeds that allows you to play them enough so that they're never getting waterlogged and never going completely dry again. It's best to always have a few newer reeds being broken in and at least a few performance reeds ready to go. In addition, pay attention to warping and adjust your storage practices accordingly, and don't forget to hit the table with a reed leveling tool every once in a while. So that's the deal, my personal approach to reed care. I think it's important to mention that if you have a different methodology and it's working for you, then all good. At any rate, I hope that this video has been helpful and wish you the best of luck with your saxophone journey. Thanks again for watching. As always, you can visit www.bostonsaxshop.com for more saxophone products, and we are always available to answer your questions at hello@bostonsaxshop.com.